Namaste, everyone. Christian R. Long, Life Enhancement Consultant, giving you a big and beautiful shout out on this Sunday morning. Welcome, welcome, welcome. As you guys probably figured out, I'm over at Einstein Brothers Bagels, getting my bagel for the day. And I thought I'd mix it up a little bit, and I get a apple cinnamon bagel with Nutella on it. Can you see it? Apple cinnamon. What's up, Sean? Apple cinnamon bagel. Any other place they could have sat? No, they could have sat anywhere. We'll see where the energy is. But I want to welcome each and every one of you coming on to today's live stream. And if this is your first time logging in, we talk about three major topics. We talk about energy healing, meditation, and practical spirituality. And this is your chance to pick an expert's brain who's been doing it for almost 20 years. And hopefully we'll have some nuggets revealed or released that will transform your life from the inside out. And this is something you're going to want to do before January 1st, 2019. Before January 1st, 2019. And if you do this before that date, the rest of your year will be transformative in ways that you cannot even imagine. Why do I say that? So I think for the past 4 years, at the beginning of the year, I have a set intention that I focus on throughout the entire year. Now, I'm going to give a little tip to the fellow pranic healers and Rahatic yogis that might be watching this. For those of you who are familiar with the blue triangle technique, which I'm not going to go into detail because I'm not authorized to teach it, and it's taught in 2 classes in pranic healing. It's taught in Kriya Shakti, which is a class on how to materialize your needs, wants, and desires using energy. And it's also taught in Arhatic Yoga, which is the synthesis or yoga of synthesis that teaches you how to properly, rapidly, and safely evolve your incarnated soul to your higher soul. So that technique, the blue triangle technique, is taught in those 2 classes. If you want to get the most out of your 2019 with the intention that you set, for the first 2 months, I recommend using the blue triangle technique to remove any and all blockages, obstacles, and impediments in the way of the fulfillment or the greater realization of that intention. So, what are some of the intentions I've used over the past several years? Use the intention of courage. Use the intention of humility. Use the intention of gratitude. This year, 2018, was my year of gratitude. And I cannot overemphasize how much that has transformed my life and transformed my relationship with my son. For those of you who've been following me on Instagram or on Facebook, you've seen me recently come back from Florida visiting my son after a 4-year hiatus of separation from my son. That was taken care of this year. We were able to reunite and reconnect with one another. Priceless. Super grateful. The year of humility. I could say a lot of things about the year of humility. And humility, by the way, as I learned from Grandmaster Choa Kok Sui, my teacher, the modern founder of pranic healing and Rahatic yoga, he says humility is being able to know your strengths and to know your weaknesses and to be able to see things accurately, to see things as they are. So the opposite of humility is negative pride. And what is negative pride? Negative pride is the shield that's protecting your low self-esteem, low self-image, and low self-worth, and never letting you get to the core issue of healing for yourself. Meaning you think you're better in something than you actually are because you don't want to admit to yourself that you're not as good in that area. Also, negative pride can show up in another way, that you are very good in something, but you don't want to take recognition for it. You don't want to take credit for yourself. That's also a form of negative pride. So it goes on both ends of the spectrum. One end is you think you're better at something than you really are. The other spectrum is you never want to take credit for the things that you are good at. And both of those lead to low self-esteem, low self-image, and low self-worth. So it's very important to remove your negative pride and to have humility. So for the year, I think it was 2017, was my focus on, 2 years ago, 2016 was my focus on humility. 2017 was on courage. And that, my friends, was transformative. Because courage, Joel, namaste. Courage is extraordinarily important in the way of accomplishing anything you need, want, and desire in life. Because in order for you to accomplish something that's outside of your comfort zone, you're going to need courage. And in order to have constancy, which is doing the same thing over and over and over again, pushing you in that direction, you're going to need to have courage. There is no exception. So courage is a fundamental emotional energy necessary for greatness. No courage, no greatness. No courage, no outside of your comfort zone. No courage, no great success in your life. So courage is extremely important. Now, there is a little caveat that I want to share about your intention for 2019. And I've been focusing on it for the past month. And I'm like, okay, if I focus on this quality, these things are going to come up. I'm going to be challenged in this way. But is this going to help me ultimately go to where I want to go? Or is it this quality or that quality or this quality? So you have to have a little bit of introspection, maybe a lot of introspection, to come to terms with what is the best quality needed for you to move your life forward in the coming year. Sharon, namaste. So this is the little caveat to courage, or the caveat to your intention for the year. People have this understanding that when they set an intention, that's the energy that they're going to embody throughout the time period that they set their intention. Meaning, I set my intention for courage, therefore I'm going to be courageous for the next week, the next month, the next quarter, the next year. It's not actually how it happens or how the dynamic works. If your intention is to have courage, for instance, that means you're going to be challenged throughout the entire year to have more courage. So you're going to be challenged with things to be afraid of. You're going to be challenged with things that will make you uncomfortable. You'll be challenged with things that will put you outside of your comfort zone. All for the purpose, Alex, namaste, all for the purpose of developing that specific intention. So just because your intention is to be more prosperous doesn't mean you will be more prosperous. What it means is you'll be challenged with more things that when you overcome those challenges, you'll become more prosperous, or you'll become more faithful, or you'll become more committed, or you'll become wiser, right? So if you say, well, for 2019, I want to develop the ability of having wisdom. I want to have greater wisdom. My intention is wisdom for 2019. So that means you're going to have many, many opportunities throughout the year to practice your discernment, to practice your ability to judge a situation correctly, to practice letting go of self-delusion, letting go of negative pride, letting go of lack of self-honesty, right? All of those things will develop and cultivate wisdom within you. It's not, I have the intention of wisdom, therefore I'm going to be wise. Do you guys get that? So that's why you have to be very, very clear on, if I master or have a greater level of mastery of this particular virtue or positive quality over the year, is it going to move me in the direction of where I want to be? So for instance, let's say you are a very loving person. You're super, super loving. You have a lot of sweetness, a lot of tenderness, a lot of joy, and you're super, super loving. And you go, you know what? A good virtue is to be a loving person, to be even more loving. How can I deepen and enrich my capacity to love myself and to love other people, right? Which is a valid positive quality, a valid positive trait. But let's say a more appropriate virtue would be power, or a more positive trait to work on would be power, because you lack demonstrating power in your life. So you live a loving life, but you may live a disempowered life, or you may have the inability of accomplishing your goals, your targets, your objectives. So maybe it would be a more appropriate energy to focus on power for that year. But you could be a very powerful person. You could be very successful. You could have a lot of influence and affluence within your family, your community, within your business. but you realize that you lack a lot of love. You don't have a lot of inner peace. You don't have a lot of joy. You don't have a lot of close, intimate relationships and friendships in your life. So, what would be a quality to focus on? Love. But the three attributes we are as souls, as beings of light, we are light, love, and power. Those are the three aspects, or the three qualities of the soul. Light is intelligence, power is will, and then love is obviously to love, to care for, to provide, to nurture, to nourish. So those are our essential natures. So every year you could rotate those three qualities and become a better person. This year my intention is going to be power. So I'm going to be challenged with opportunities to strengthen my ability to make things happen. And then the next year I'll focus on will. I'll focus on love. And so I'm going to be challenged with having more patience, having more tolerance, having more compassion for the people in my life, meaning you're going to be tested on that quality of love over and over and over again. And as you get tested and as you pass the test, what happens? The heart expands, the heart gets bigger, and your capacity to be more loving increases. And then the next year you could focus on light or intelligence, the ability to look at situations clearly, accurately, to have the right viewpoint, and then to act or to express that viewpoint correctly. So the term we use in pranic healing is called accurate perception and correct expression. And you could do that for the rest of your life. Those three qualities, rotate them every year. But some people, like myself, we choose to focus on other very specific aspects, like I did with humility, with courage, with gratitude, right? I think one year I did prosperity. I'm trying to remember when that was. But again, the takeaway, the recommendation is for all pranic healers and Arhatic yogis who have taken Kriya Shakti and or Arhatic yoga, set your intention before the beginning of the year and then do 2 months of blue triangle around that specific intention, so it'll be easier for you and you'll be able to go deeper into it. And there's a Chinese proverb that 50% is, 50% is having a good start. So if you have your intention before the beginning of the year, you're going to be ahead of the game or ahead of where you would be than if you said, middle of February or middle of April, then you set your intention. And you might be saying, well, what's the difference between an intention for 2019 and having a resolution for 2019? A resolution, in most cases, is a specific goal that you're wanting to accomplish, right? It's like, I want to lose 20 pounds. I want to gain 20 pounds of muscle. I want to make 6 figures. I want to give $20,000 to charity. I want to, whatever. It's a specific goal that you want to accomplish. The difference between a resolution and a intention is the intention is going to be playing in the background for your entire year. And it's going to be the filter through which you perceive the entire year. So for me, 2018 was the year of gratitude. So everything that I did was painted with the energy of gratitude, versus the following year, or the previous year, which was humility or courage. So everything I did had the color of courage in it. So that's the difference. Your resolution is a specific goal that you want to target. Your intention is an overall energy, an overarching theme in your year. And I can't emphasize this enough. Spend some time, an hour, 2 hours today or this week before the beginning of 2019, and think about what your intention should be. What resonates with you? What will help move your life forward? What is maybe a sticking point or a blind spot or a pain point for you in your life? It could be in relationships, it could be in your physical health, it could be in your finances, it could be your career path, your spiritual practice. Wherever the pain point is, you could say, you know what, I realize impatience is really dominated my life, and it's really caused a lot of injury and hardship for me and the other people, of how I show up as an impatient, Adriana, namaste, how I show up as an impatient person. Well, what would it look like if my intention for 2019 was patience. What would that look like? And then guess what? Now, throughout the entire year of 2019, you're going to be challenged and tested over and over and over again to have patience, to have patience, to have patience. And then by the end of the year, your patience muscle will be stronger than any other time in your life. Now, the reason this is an intention is you're not going to master the particular intention you have for the year. So if it's patience, you practice it throughout an entire year, you will become masterful of it, but you will not have mastered it. And that's okay. And if you want to choose patience for the following year, and the year after that, and the year after that, if you truly, deeply, genuinely want to master that particular intention, you can, or you can choose another intention. But people have to realize that mastery doesn't happen overnight. And you can only be masterful in a small segment of things in your incarnation. You can't become masterful at everything all at once. It's unrealistic. It's not possible, right? And one of the pranic healing masters has been recently revealing techniques that were shared with him by Grandmaster Choa Koksui over 20 years ago. And he says, I now, after 20 years of diligent practice, feel confident to share my experiences and my insights from practicing these techniques, but not before then. So isn't it interesting that we'll sit down, we'll read a book, we'll go to a seminar, we'll listen to an audio program on personal or spiritual development, and we feel that in that moment that qualifies us as an expert to share that specific practice with another person. We haven't even mastered it in our own lives. How can we help other people master it in their lives, right? That's why I've been doing, as of this coming year of 2019, will be my 20th year as a meditating practitioner who's been diligent about his practice. Now I feel more confident guiding people, helping people, leading people through their spiritual life than I did 5, 10, 15 years ago, right? But people have this weird assumption that they don't have a mastery over something, but they have an idea of something, and then that idea is enough to qualify them to be an expert or a master of that subject. Is it possible that that soul is old? Is it possible that soul is advanced? Is it possible that soul has access to higher teachings? It's possible. But you will only know that by looking at the character of the person who's sitting before you. If they have their act together, follow them. If they don't have their act together, don't follow them. So that would be discernment. So that could be, you could spend the next 20 years having discernment as your intention every year to be able to assess a situation on a very broad level and on a very deep level. So a lot to it. But that's my takeaway for you guys today on this Sunday is spend some time today or spend some time this week and identify what your intention is for 2019, and then write it on a whiteboard, write it on a piece of paper and stick it on the bathroom mirror, or stick it in your car, or stick it somewhere that you will consistently and persistently see it in your conscious and subconscious. That's what my focus is for this year. Practicing gratitude, practicing humility, practicing courage, practicing prosperity, practicing controlling my thoughts better, controlling my feelings, practicing my connection to God, right? Whatever it is that resonates with you, and make it simple. Make the intention simple. Don't have it be a 5-sentence intention. 1 or 2 words is sufficient to focus you on where you want to go. It could be persistence. Let's say you're a person that's all over the place and you're not very consistent or persistent in your life. Then guess what? My focus, my intention is constancy this year. And then what's going to happen? You're going to have all these opportunities for people to pull you in many different directions, getting you off your constant path, and that will strengthen your constancy. It's like if you went into the gym and you said, I want to get bigger, stronger, healthier muscles, but I don't want to lift anything heavy. Wouldn't really be realistic, would it? Wouldn't make sense, right? So you need that resistance in order to move your life forward. So if I can help you move your life forward, go to christianrlong.com/services. christianrlong.com/services. Sign up for a distant pranic healing session with me. 30 minutes of coaching, 30 minutes of healing will transform your life by the end of that session so you can move your 2019 forward properly and rapidly. And that's it, guys. So I want to thank you for sharing, contributing. Minnie, always good to have you on. Your bright and shiny aura. And I'm going to finish my now chili bagel and my mint mocha coffee. So this is Christian R. Long, Life Enhancement Consultant, wishing you a beautiful Sunday, a beautiful week, and a beautiful life. Atma, namaste. Bye-bye.